The cold concrete felt like ice beneath her skin. Maya's body trembled as she slept, curled up beside the tall glass building in downtown Miami, clutching her small bag to her chest. It was 5:59 a.m. The sky remained gray, and the city was eerily quiet, the kind of quiet that amplifies every heartbeat. Then a shadow fell over her. A tall man stood just steps away, staring at her with shock in his eyes. His name was Nathan Reed, a tech billionaire who owned the very company she slept in front of. He had never seen anything like this, a young woman, exhausted and dusty, sleeping on the cold pavement outside his gate. Nathan slowly knelt beside her. "Excuse me, are you okay?" he asked softly. But Maya didn't wake up. She was too tired, too weak, too hungry. When Nathan gently touched her shoulder, Maya's eyes flew open. She gasped, seeing a stranger with kind eyes bending over her. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Please don't chase me away," she stammered, fear shaking her voice. But Nathan wasn't angry. He was concerned. And in that moment, as the morning breeze lifted a strand of her hair, he saw something in her tired brown eyes, a quiet strength that moved something deep inside him. "I'm not chasing you," he said gently. "But tell me, why are you here?" Before Maya could answer, the building lights came on. Cars began passing. Workers were arriving. Maya's secret was about to be exposed, and her life was about to change forever. Welcome to African Tales. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and share it with your friends, and most important thing, turn your notification bell so you can get informed when I dropped another amazing story. Drop your thoughts and reactions in the comments. What would you do if your spouse tried to kill you and you survive? Will you take a revenge or disappear forever? Maya's hands trembled as she sat back down on the cold pavement. The stranger, this man named Nathan, waited patiently, his eyes kind but concerned. She had never told anyone her full story, but something about this moment felt different. "My name is Maya Torres," she began, her voice barely above a whisper. "I'm from Tampa. My family. We used to be comfortable. My parents owned a small restaurant. Life was peaceful until an accident took both of them 3 years ago." Nathan listened intently, not interrupting. "My uncle Roberto, my father's brother, came to help after they died. But instead, he took everything. The restaurant, our house, the land. He chased me away when I was only in my second year of college." Her voice cracked. "I had to start selling things to classmates just to finish my degree. It was hard, but I did it." She wiped away a tear. "When I graduated 6 months ago, I knew I had nothing left in Tampa except my 12-year-old brother, Carlos. I put him in a boarding school, paid what I could, and came to Miami to find work." Nathan's jaw tightened as he listened. "But Miami has been so hard," Maya continued. "I've walked streets, entered offices, carried my resume everywhere. I've sold water bottles, done small jobs, but nothing stays. I have no apartment, no bed, nowhere to sleep. So I sleep wherever I find space, under bridges, inside empty shops, at bus stops. Last night, I was just too tired to keep walking, so I stopped here." By the time she finished, tears streamed down her face. Nathan stood still, processing everything. Here was a girl who had lost everything yet spoke with incredible courage. A girl who should have given up but kept fighting. A girl who looked fragile but possessed a spirit stronger than steel. For the first time in years, Nathan felt his heart ache for someone else. He slowly sat beside her on the cold concrete. "You slept here alone all night," he whispered. Maya nodded. "Everywhere was full, and I didn't want to risk being attacked." Nathan shook his head in disbelief. A young woman sleeping outside like this in his city, right in front of his building. He swallowed hard. "Stand up," he said gently. Maya blinked in confusion. "Sir." "Stand up," he repeated softly. "You can't stay here." His voice wasn't angry. It was protective, warm, firm. She stood slowly. Workers walking into the building stared at them. Some whispered, some pointed, some frowned. Maya shrunk in shame. But then Nathan did something that shocked everyone. He removed his expensive suit jacket, worth more than everything Maya owned, and wrapped it around her shoulders. Everyone gasped. Even Maya froze. "Come inside," he said quietly. "You're safe now." Maya's mouth opened in surprise. She had never heard that word before. Safe. But as she took a step toward the glass door with him, she suddenly stopped. Her heart raced. Something deep inside whispered that her life was about to change. She slowly lifted her eyes to Nathan. He was watching her, waiting patiently. In his eyes, she saw something unexpected. Not pity, not fear, but something warmer. Something that looked very close to compassion, perhaps even the beginning of love. Before she could take another step, a loud voice shouted from behind. "Hey! Don't let that girl fool you, sir. She's probably a scammer." Maya froze. Nathan turned sharply. A tall security guard was rushing toward them, pointing at Maya with anger in his eyes. "Sir, I saw her last night. She sleeps around here. These girls pretend to be helpless, then they steal." Maya covered her face in shame as people stopped to stare. The whispers grew louder. Her legs weakened, and she wished the ground would swallow her whole. But then Nathan stepped forward. He didn't shout. His voice was calm but carried unmistakable power. "Don't speak about her like that." The entire area went silent. The security guard blinked in confusion. "Sir, I'm just warning you." Nathan raised his hand, and the man immediately went quiet. "This young woman has done nothing wrong. Don't call her a scammer again." For the first time in years, someone stood up for Maya. Someone defended her. Someone believed her. Tears fell down Maya's cheeks, not just tears of pain, but tears of relief. Nathan turned to her. "Come with me," he said softly, his voice gentle again. Maya hesitated, her hands trembling as everyone watched. But Nathan didn't rush her. He simply waited with kind eyes. Slowly, she followed him into the building, into the unknown, into what would become the beginning of her new life. Cold air rushed over Maya's skin as they entered the massive building. The marble tiles gleamed under bright lights. Workers hurried past, carrying tablets and coffee cups. Everything felt too clean, too expensive, too intimidating. Maya hugged herself, clutching Nathan's jacket tighter. She had never been inside a place like this. Some workers stared at her with confusion. Others whispered. A few even laughed quietly behind their hands. She tried to look down, hoping to become invisible. But Nathan noticed. He slowed his pace and walked beside her. "You're safe," he said again. The way he said it made her heart feel warm, like she'd been given something precious. They entered a private office with glass walls. Inside, everything was perfect. A large wooden desk, leather chairs, small plants in geometric pots, and floor-to-ceiling windows showing the Miami skyline. Maya stood near the door, unsure what to do. Nathan gently pointed to a chair. "Sit." "No, sir, I can stand." "Please sit," he repeated, this time with a soft smile. She sat slowly, carefully, afraid the expensive chair might somehow break under her. Nathan placed a bottle of water in front of her. "You haven't eaten, have you?" Maya stared at him. How did he know? He sat across from her, leaning forward slightly. "Tell me more about your uncle, the one who took your father's property." Maya's chest tightened. "His name is Roberto Torres. After my parents died, he told us he would help. Instead, he took everything, the restaurant, the house, all the land. He said Carlos and I weren't his problem." Her voice broke. "He took all the documents. I have nothing to prove those properties belonged to my father." Nathan leaned back in his chair, his eyes narrowing with focus. Maya felt a spike of fear. "Did I say too much?" she asked in a small voice. "No," he said softly. "You said exactly what I needed to hear." He stood and walked to the window, hands in his pockets, clearly planning something. Maya watched him closely. She didn't understand why he cared. Why didn't he just send her away like everyone else? Why was he looking at her like she actually mattered? Nathan turned around, his eyes steady and determined. Maya, I'm going to help you. Her mouth opened slightly. Help me. But sir, you don't know me. I'm nobody. Nathan walked closer. No, he said, shaking his head. You're not nobody. You're a woman who fought for her education. You're protecting your younger brother. You didn't give up even when life pushed you down hard. He paused. Anyone who tries that hard is definitely somebody. A tear slid down Maya's cheek. She wiped it quickly, embarrassed. Nathan smiled gently. First, we're going to get back your father's property. Maya gasped. That's impossible. Impossible doesn't scare me, Nathan said calmly. I know the best lawyers in Miami. We'll build a case against your uncle. Her heart raced. She looked at him with wide, hopeful eyes. Sir, why are you doing this for me? He paused. For the first time, he seemed uncertain how to answer. The truth was simple. He was already falling in love with her. Her strength, her resilience, her courage, her heart. But he couldn't say that. Not yet. Because you deserve better than sleeping on the streets, he finally said. Right then, a loud knock hit the door. Bang, bang, bang. Maya jumped in fear. Nathan frowned. Come in. The door opened and a man in a business suit rushed in, panic written across his face. Nathan, we have a problem. Nathan turned sharply. What is it, David? David took a deep breath. It's your uncle, Richard. He just arrived downstairs and he's demanding to see you immediately. Nathan's eyes widened slightly. Maya froze. Nathan's uncle? Why did that sound dangerous? Why did David look so worried? Before she could ask anything, David added one more line that twisted Maya's stomach. And sir, he's not alone. He brought 2 of his security people. The room fell silent. Nathan's face changed. The calm, gentle look he'd worn with Maya disappeared, replaced by something sharper, more guarded. Nathan. Maya whispered softly. Is something wrong? He turned to her, forcing a calm smile. Don't be afraid. Stay here. Don't open the door for anyone. David looked worried. Should I call security? No, Nathan said firmly. I'll handle him myself. He walked toward the door but stopped. He turned back to Maya, seeing her eyes, her fear, her small hands trembling on her lap. He stepped closer. Maya, whatever happens downstairs, I want you to know something. She lifted her head. You're safe with me. Her breath caught in her throat. Such a simple sentence, yet no one had ever said it to her before. Nathan left, and the moment the door closed, Maya's heart began racing faster than ever. Downstairs, the lobby was tense. Workers stayed far away, whispering behind desks and glass partitions. Standing in the center of the hall was a man in his late 50s, tall with a prominent stomach pushing against his expensive suit. Dark sunglasses sat proudly on his face. 2 large men, clearly hired muscle, stood on either side of him. He looked wealthy. He looked powerful. But he also looked dangerous. This was Richard Reed, Nathan's uncle. The moment Nathan stepped out of the elevator, his uncle turned. Ah, Nathan. My boy, he shouted, spreading his arms wide. But Nathan didn't smile. He didn't move to hug him. He remained still. Uncle Richard, he said with a controlled voice. Why are you here? His uncle's face twitched. Why am I here? You haven't answered my calls. You haven't replied to my messages. So I came myself. I've been busy. Richard removed his sunglasses. What is this nonsense I'm hearing? Someone told me you were seen with a strange girl outside this building this morning. Some workers pretended not to listen, but their ears were tuned in. Nathan's jaw tightened. That's my business, uncle. Richard laughed loudly, a harsh, mocking sound. Your business? Listen, you're a billionaire. You can't be picking up random girls from the street. Nathan's eyes burned with restrained anger. Richard continued, stepping closer. You know how this city works. Girls like that will drain your money, lie to you, trick you. One day they'll destroy your name and your company. His words felt like knives, even to Nathan. Richard moved even closer. I want to see her. Nathan stiffened. No. Richard blinked. What did you just say? I said no, Nathan repeated firmly. You're not going near her. The two bodyguards exchanged glances. Richard's face darkened. What's wrong with you? Is this girl using something on you? Some kind of trick? No one is using anything on me. Then why are you acting like a fool? Richard shouted. Workers throughout the lobby jumped at his voice. Security officers turned their attention to the commotion. Richard pointed a finger at Nathan's chest. You must send that girl away. Do you hear me? Send her away today. Nathan's voice was calm. Too calm. I will not. Richard's eyes widened in disbelief. Have you forgotten who trained you? Who paid for your education? Who invested in this company when you were starting out? Me. Nathan didn't move. Richard continued, his voice shaking with anger. Nathan, I'm warning you. Girls like that come with trouble. If you don't remove her today, I will do it myself. You will do nothing, Nathan said suddenly, his voice cutting through the tension. The entire hall froze. Richard's face turned red. Nathan. Yes, uncle. Richard stepped closer, face to face. I don't know what spell this girl has cast on you, but I swear, if I find out she's trying to manipulate you. She's already in my life, Nathan said quietly. Richard blinked. What did you say? I said she's already in my life, Nathan repeated clearly. And I'm going to help her whether you approve or not. Richard drew back, genuinely shocked. You're serious about this? Nathan nodded. Richard turned away angrily, snapping his fingers. His two bodyguards immediately followed. He walked toward the exit, shouting over his shoulder. This girl will ruin you. Mark my words. She'll destroy everything you've built. He stormed toward the glass doors. But before leaving completely, he yelled one final warning that made Nathan's blood run cold. Since you refuse to listen, I'll deal with her myself. The doors slammed shut behind him. Upstairs, Maya sat hugging Nathan's jacket tightly, unaware of the confrontation happening below. Her mind raced with questions. Why was Nathan being so kind to her? Why did he believe her story? Why was he willing to fight for someone he'd just met? Something warm spread through her chest, a feeling she wasn't used to. A feeling that both comforted and frightened her. She stood and walked to the window, looking down at the street below. That's when she saw them. 3 men leaving the building angrily. One in an expensive suit, 2 large men behind him. They looked furious. But the most frightening part came when one of the bodyguards suddenly stopped, turned around, and pointed up toward the building. His finger aimed directly at the window where Maya stood. Her heart jumped into her throat. Her hand flew to her mouth. Oh God, she whispered. They saw me. She stumbled back from the window, shaking uncontrollably. Were they coming for her? What did they want? Why did that man point directly at her? Before she could process what was happening, she heard the office door handle begin to turn. Someone was coming in. Maya's entire body froze. Her breath stopped. The footsteps approaching were slow and steady. What if it was those angry men? What if they'd come to drag her out? She backed away until her legs hit the chair. The door finally opened. Nathan stepped in. She gasped in relief, her hand flying to her chest. Nathan, I thought. He rushed to her side immediately. What happened? Why are you shaking? She pointed toward the window. I saw 3 men leaving. One in an expensive suit, 2 large men behind him. One of them pointed directly at me. Nathan's face hardened. That was my uncle, he said quietly. Maya's eyes widened. That man is your uncle? He looked dangerous. Nathan sat beside her, his voice low and steady. Maya, listen to me. You don't need to be afraid. My uncle may be loud and controlling, but he won't touch you. But why does he hate me? He doesn't even know me. It's not you, Nathan replied. It's the idea of you. Maya looked confused. Nathan continued, my uncle believes every woman who isn't wealthy wants to trap a rich man. He thinks everyone is after my money and my company. He's never trusted people, especially women who come into my life. Maya looked down at her hands. So he thinks I'm using you? Yes, Nathan admitted honestly. But he's completely wrong. She looked up slowly. How can you be so sure? Nathan held her gaze. Because I see your heart. Her breath caught. He didn't blink or look away. He looked at her like she mattered, like she was someone important, like she wasn't invisible. Maya, he said softly, you didn't come to this company to beg or trap anyone. You came here because you were exhausted, hungry, lost, and life had pushed you too hard. He paused. You came here because you had nowhere else to go. A tear slipped down her cheek. Nathan reached for a tissue and handed it to her. She wiped her face slowly. Nathan, nobody has ever spoken to me like this, she whispered. He smiled softly. Well, you'd better get used to it. Just then, Nathan's phone rang. He checked the screen, and his expression became serious. It's my lawyer. This might be about your father's property. Maya's heart jumped. Should I step outside? No, Nathan replied. Stay. He answered the call. Hello, Marcus. Maya watched his face carefully. She could tell from his changing expressions that this was serious. Nathan finally said, I'll be there by 1 o'clock. Thank you. He ended the call. What did they say? Maya asked softly. Nathan sat up straighter. The case is bigger than I thought. Your uncle didn't just take property. He forged signatures, changed documents, and even used money from your father's restaurant to open secret accounts in his own name. Maya's mouth dropped open. What? Nathan nodded grimly. This isn't a small case anymore, Maya. Your uncle could face serious criminal charges. He might even go to prison. Maya shook her head slowly, her hands covering her mouth. What if he fights back? He's powerful in Tampa. People fear him. Nathan placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. I'm more powerful than him here. And I have resources he can't imagine. She stared at him, feeling both comforted and overwhelmed. You don't have to fear that man anymore, Nathan said firmly. You're not alone in this fight. Her heart melted at his words. But before she could respond, bang! The office door shook violently. Someone was pounding it from the outside. Open this door now, a voice roared. Maya jumped, terror flooding through her. Nathan stood up instantly. Stay calm, he said quietly. Who is it? Maya whispered, her voice trembling. That voice. Nathan's expression darkened. That's not my uncle. Another angry bang hit the door, harder this time. Maya Torres. Come out here now, the voice demanded. Maya's blood turned cold. Her knees weakened. She gripped the edge of the table for support. Nathan, she whispered, her voice breaking. That's my uncle. Nathan's eyes widened slightly. Your uncle Roberto? She nodded, tears forming. He must have followed me from Tampa. He must have found out I'm here. Nathan immediately stepped between Maya and the door, positioning himself as a shield. You're not seeing him, he said firmly. But he's dangerous. Maya protested. He could hurt you. He can't hurt me, Nathan said with absolute certainty. And he definitely can't hurt you. Not here. Not ever again. Another thunderous bang shook the door. Workers in the hallway outside Nathan's office had frozen in place. Security guards were rushing toward the corridor, responding to the commotion. Maya's uncle Roberto shouted even louder. Maya! If you don't come out right now, I'll break this door down. Tears filled Maya's eyes as terrible memories flooded back. Uncle Roberto slapping her across the face. Him shouting, "You're worthless." Him dragging her out of her father's house. Him pushing her into the street and locking the gate behind her, leaving her with nothing. Her whole body trembled violently. "Nathan, I can't face him," she whispered. "I can't." Nathan turned, took her hand gently but firmly, and said, "You won't have to face him. I will." Her eyes widened. "Nathan." "Don't worry," he said. "I won't let him hurt you." Suddenly, the banging stopped. An eerie silence filled the hallway. Then a voice said quietly but menacingly from outside the door, "Open this door, or someone innocent will get hurt." Maya gasped. Nathan's eyes darkened. Someone. Who had her uncle brought with him? Thugs. Police. Someone else? Before Nathan could move toward the door, a loud scream echoed from the hallway, a scream that froze both of them in place. "Nathan! Please come out. They've taken somebody." Maya's heart nearly stopped. Taken somebody? Who? The scream came again. "Please. They have a child out here." Nathan immediately opened the door and stepped out. Maya followed close behind, terrified but refusing to leave him alone. The hallway was filled with workers and security guards, all staring at something in the middle of the crowd. A boy. A small boy, shaking and crying. "Carlos." Maya gasped. Her younger brother stood there with tears streaming down his face. His school uniform was dusty and disheveled. His small backpack was torn open, contents scattered. Maya ran to him and pulled him into a tight embrace. "Carlos. What happened? How did you get here?" He cried into her shoulder. "Uncle Roberto came to my school. He told the principal he was taking me home for an emergency. But then he brought me here. He said he'd hurt me if you didn't come back to Tampa." Maya felt her knees weaken. Her uncle had used her little brother as bait, kidnapping a child to force her compliance. Nathan's jaw clenched so tightly that a muscle twitched in his cheek. "Where is he?" Nathan demanded, his voice cold and dangerous. A security guard pointed toward the corner of the hall. "We have him restrained, sir. Your men are holding him." Maya turned to see her uncle Roberto on the floor, pinned down by two large security guards. But even from the ground, he continued shouting like a madman. "You think you can run from me?" Roberto screamed at Maya. "You think you can disgrace me? You think this rich man can save you? I'll destroy you both." Carlos clung to Maya, shaking even harder. "Don't let him take me back. Please, Maya, don't let him take me back." Nathan stepped beside Maya and Carlos, placing one protective arm around both of them. Then he faced the furious uncle with a calm but powerful voice. "You're finished, Roberto." Roberto spat on the floor. "You can't do anything to me. I'm her father's brother. I have every right." "You're also a criminal," Nathan interrupted. Everyone froze. Nathan nodded at his head of security. "David, play the recording." David pulled out a small digital device and pressed play. Roberto's voice came through clearly, captured from a phone conversation Nathan's investigators had obtained. "I took their father's restaurant. I took the house and the land. I forged everything. The signatures, the documents, all of it. What can that useless girl do? She and her brother belong to me now." Gasps filled the hallway. Some workers covered their mouths in shock. Roberto's eyes widened in disbelief. Where did you get that?" Nathan stepped closer. "My lawyer traced every forged signature, every illegal bank transfer, every stolen asset. We have everything, Roberto. Every crime you've committed. 3 officers in dark jackets appeared at the end of the hall. Their badges identified them as FBI, Financial Crimes Division. Roberto began to shake. No, this is all lies. I didn't. You did everything, Nathan said firmly. And now you'll answer for all of it. The officers approached and lifted Roberto to his feet. Roberto Torres, you're under arrest for forgery, fraud, child endangerment, property theft, and kidnapping, one officer stated clearly. As they placed handcuffs on him and began reading his rights, Roberto screamed Maya's name. You'll regret this. You hear me? You'll suffer for betraying family. But Maya didn't shake anymore. She didn't cry. She didn't bow her head in shame. Nathan stood behind her with one arm around her shoulders. Carlos was safe in her arms. For the first time since her parents died, Maya felt truly protected. When the FBI officers left with Uncle Roberto, the hallway slowly returned to normal. Workers dispersed back to their offices. Security guards relaxed. The building's usual hum of productivity gradually resumed. Maya stood quietly in front of Nathan, still holding Carlos. Her eyes were red from crying, but her heart felt strangely full, not with pain, but with something she hadn't felt in years. Hope. Nathan, she whispered. Thank you for everything you've done. He shook his head softly. You don't need to thank me. I do, she insisted, her voice stronger now. Nobody has ever fought for me like this. Nobody ever protected me. Nobody ever treated me like I actually mattered. Nathan smiled gently. Maya, you matter more than you know. Their eyes met, slowly, softly, as if the entire world was holding its breath. Carlos tugged on Nathan's sleeve with a shy smile. Sir, will you help us forever? Nathan knelt to Carlos's height, looking the boy directly in the eyes. Not just help, he said. Then he looked up at Maya again. I want to build something permanent. Something real. Maya's breath caught in her throat. Nathan, what are you saying? He stood up slowly, taking her free hand in his. Maya, I know life has been incredibly unfair to you. I know you've suffered more than anyone should have to suffer. But I want to make sure you never suffer again. Tears rolled down her cheeks, but these weren't tears of pain. They were tears of healing, of release, of finally being seen. From the moment I saw you outside this building, Nathan continued, something changed inside me. You were sleeping on cold concrete, exhausted and alone, yet you had the strength to keep going. You had the courage to protect your brother. You had dignity even when the world tried to take it from you. Nathan, Maya whispered. I was falling in love with you from that very first morning, he said simply. And every moment since then has only made me more certain. Maya's hand trembled in his. Nathan took a deep breath. I know this is fast. I know we've only just met. But sometimes life puts people in your path for a reason. You walked into my life when I didn't even know I was looking for you. Carlos watched with wide eyes as Nathan reached into his pocket and pulled out a small velvet box. Maya gasped softly, her free hand flying to her mouth. Nathan opened the box, revealing a simple but elegant diamond ring that caught the light beautifully. Several workers who were still in the hallway stopped and watched with bright, hopeful smiles. Maya Torres, Nathan said clearly, I know I can't erase your past. I can't bring back your parents or give you back the years you lost. But I can promise you a future. A real home. A real family. Safety. Love. Everything you deserve. He took her hand more firmly. Will you marry me? Maya's throat tightened. Her chest filled with warmth that spread through her entire body. She looked down at Carlos, whose eyes were shining with hope and excitement. She looked back at Nathan, the man who found her at her lowest point. The man who believed her story when no one else would. The man who fought for her. The man who stood between her and danger. The man who was offering her not just help, but love. Yes, she whispered. Nathan smiled. Say it again. Louder. She wiped her tears, a genuine smile breaking across her face for the first time in years. Yes, Nathan Reed. I will marry you. Cheers erupted through the building. Workers clapped and celebrated. Carlos hugged both of them tightly, laughing and crying at the same time. Nathan gently slipped the ring onto Maya's finger. It fit perfectly. I promise you, Nathan said softly. Your life is going to be different from this day forward. You and Carlos both. Maya looked at the ring on her finger, then at Carlos's joyful face, then at Nathan's warm smile. I don't know what I did to deserve this, she said quietly. You survived, Nathan replied. You fought. You protected what mattered most. That's more than enough. For the first time in 3 long years, since the day her parents died and her world fell apart, Maya allowed herself to believe that good things could still happen. That life could still be beautiful. That she could still be loved. Later that day, Nathan made arrangements for Carlos to stay in a proper hotel nearby. He also contacted a prestigious private school in Miami to enroll him for the next semester. You're giving him everything, Maya said, watching Nathan work. I'm giving you both what you should have always had, Nathan corrected. A chance. The next few weeks passed like a dream Maya was afraid to wake from. Nathan hired the best lawyers in Miami to handle the case against Uncle Roberto. The evidence was overwhelming: forged signatures, illegal property transfers, stolen funds, and now kidnapping charges. Roberto wouldn't see freedom for many years. More importantly, the legal team began the process of recovering everything Roberto had stolen. The restaurant, the house in Tampa, and all the assets that rightfully belonged to Maya and Carlos. It's going to take time, Nathan's lawyer Marcus explained during one meeting. But the evidence is solid. Everything will be returned to you. Maya sat in Nathan's office, still struggling to process it all. I never thought I'd get any of it back, she admitted. Justice doesn't always come quickly, Marcus said, but it does come. Nathan had also moved Maya and Carlos into a beautiful apartment in a safe neighborhood. The first night Maya slept in an actual bed with clean sheets, she cried, but these were good tears. Carlos adjusted remarkably well. He was enrolled in an excellent school, making new friends, and for the first time in years, acting like a normal 12-year-old boy instead of someone carrying the weight of the world. Maya, look. Carlos called one evening, showing her his report card. I got all A's. She hugged him tightly. I'm so proud of you. It's because I can finally focus, he said simply. I'm not scared anymore. Those words hit Maya deeply. Fear had been their constant companion for so long that she'd forgotten what life without it felt like. Meanwhile, her relationship with Nathan continued to deepen. He introduced her to his world gradually, never overwhelming her, always patient and understanding. One Saturday, he took her and Carlos to a small, family-owned restaurant by the water. I wanted you to see this place, Nathan said as they sat down. My parents used to bring me here when I was Carlos's age. Before they passed away. Maya looked at him with new understanding. You lost them too? Nathan nodded. Car accident. I was 19. That's when my Uncle Richard stepped in, supposedly to help, but really to try to control everything I did. But you didn't let him, Maya observed. No, Nathan agreed. I fought for my independence. Built my company from the ground up. My uncle invested some money early on, and he's never let me forget it. He thinks it gives him the right to control my life. Maya reached across the table and took his hand. We both know what it's like to lose everything. And we both know what it takes to rebuild, Nathan added, squeezing her hand gently. Carlos, oblivious to the deeper conversation, was excitedly pointing at boats passing by the window. That evening, as Nathan drove them home, Maya realized something profound. She wasn't just grateful to Nathan, she was genuinely falling in love with him. Not because he saved her, but because of who he was. Kind, principled, strong, and genuinely good. A few days later, Nathan surprised her with something unexpected. "I want to show you something," he said, driving them to a location outside the city. They pulled up to a beautiful building with large windows and a welcoming entrance. A sign read, "Torres Community Restaurant, opening soon." Maya's eyes widened. What is this?" Nathan smiled. "Your father's restaurant is being recovered in Tampa, but I thought you might want to start fresh here. This is yours, Maya. A place where you can honor your parents' legacy and build something new." Tears streamed down her face as she stared at the building. "Nathan, this is too much." "It's not too much," he insisted. "It's what you deserve. You told me your parents owned a restaurant. You told me how much you loved helping them. This is your chance to continue that dream." Carlos jumped excitedly. "Maya, you're going to have your own restaurant." She turned to Nathan, overwhelmed. "I don't know what to say." "Say you'll make it amazing," he replied with a warm smile. Over the following weeks, Maya threw herself into planning the restaurant. Nathan connected her with experienced managers, chefs, and designers. But he made sure every decision was hers. "This is your vision," he kept reminding her. "I'm just here to support it." The restaurant began taking shape: warm lighting, comfortable seating, a menu that honored her parents' recipes while adding her own touches. It felt like healing with every choice she made. One evening, as they reviewed plans together, Maya looked at Nathan seriously. "Why are you really doing all this?" "The truth." Nathan set down the papers and looked directly into her eyes. "Because when I saw you that morning, sleeping outside my building, I saw someone who refused to give up. Someone with strength I've rarely seen in anyone. You could have given in to bitterness, to despair, but you didn't. You kept fighting for Carlos, kept trying to survive with dignity." He paused. "You reminded me why I built my company in the first place. Not for money or power, but to make a difference. You've made me remember who I wanted to be." Maya felt her heart swell. "You've given me back my life." "No," Nathan corrected gently. "You never lost your life. You just needed someone to see it." Everything seemed perfect. Too perfect. And Maya had learned long ago that when life felt too good, trouble was usually waiting around the corner. She was right. It started with small things. A strange car parked outside their apartment building for hours. Hang-up calls on her new phone. The feeling of being watched when she walked Carlos to school. "You're probably just adjusting," Nathan assured her when she mentioned it. "After everything you've been through, it's natural to feel anxious." But Maya's instincts told her something was wrong. Then one afternoon, while reviewing restaurant supply orders, her phone rang from an unknown number. Against her better judgment, she answered. "Hello." Heavy breathing on the other end. Then a voice, cold and familiar. "You think you've won, don't you, Maya?" Her blood ran cold. "Uncle Roberto? How are you calling from?" "I have friends everywhere," he interrupted. "Friends who owe me favors. Friends on the outside who are very interested in your new rich boyfriend." "Leave us alone," Maya said, her voice shaking. "You're going to prison. It's over." Roberto laughed. A cruel, bitter sound. "It's never over, niece. You humiliated me. You took everything. Did you really think there wouldn't be consequences?" "Are you threatening me?" "I'm promising you," he said darkly. "You and that little brat Carlos. You're not safe. Not as long as I have breath in my body." The line went dead. Maya's hands trembled as she immediately called Nathan. He was in a meeting but took her call the moment he saw her name. "Maya, what's wrong?" She explained everything. The call, the threats, the feeling of being watched. "I'm coming home right now," Nathan said immediately. "Lock the doors. Don't open them for anyone except me." Within 20 minutes, Nathan arrived with 2 professional security personnel. "This is James and Lisa," Nathan introduced them. They're going to be with you and Carlos from now on. At least until Roberto's trial is over and he's permanently locked away. Nathan, this is too much. It's necessary, he said firmly. Your uncle is dangerous. He's proven that by kidnapping Carlos once. I won't risk your safety. That evening, Nathan made another decision. I think you and Carlos should move in with me. My penthouse has state-of-the-art security. You'll be safer there. Maya hesitated. People will talk. We're engaged, but we're not married yet. I don't care what people think, Nathan interrupted. I care about keeping you safe. You can have your own room. Everything proper. But please, let me protect you. Looking at Carlos's worried face, Maya agreed. The move happened quickly. Nathan's penthouse was stunning. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Miami, 3 bedrooms, a modern kitchen, and indeed, impressive security systems. Carlos was amazed. This is like a movie, he exclaimed, running from room to room. But Maya couldn't shake the anxiety. That night, unable to sleep, she stood by the window looking out at the glittering city below. Nathan found her there. Can't sleep. She shook her head. I keep thinking about what my uncle said. He sounded so sure of himself, even from jail. Nathan stood beside her. Roberto is desperate. Desperate people say desperate things. But he can't actually hurt you. He's locked up, awaiting trial. But he said he has friends. And I have resources, Nathan countered. I've already hired a private investigator to look into any associates of your uncle. We'll know if anyone tries to approach you. Maya turned to him. Why are you doing all this? You could just let me go. It would be easier for you. Safer. Nathan looked genuinely hurt. Let you go? Maya, do you really think I could just walk away now? After everything. I'm bringing danger into your life. You're bringing joy into my life, he corrected. For the first time in years, I wake up excited about the day. I have purpose beyond just making money. You and Carlos, you're my family now. Tears welled in Maya's eyes. I'm scared, Nathan. I'm scared something bad will happen to Carlos. Or to you. Because of me. Nathan pulled her into a gentle embrace. Nothing bad is going to happen. I promise you. We're going to get through this together. She held on to him tightly, wanting desperately to believe him. But somewhere in the back of her mind, a small voice whispered that her uncle's threats weren't empty. Roberto Torres was a man who had already proven he would do anything. Forge documents, steal property, kidnap a child, to get what he wanted. And what he wanted now was revenge. The restaurant opening was scheduled for 2 weeks away. Maya had thrown herself into the final preparations, partly because she was excited, but mostly to distract herself from the constant worry about her uncle's threats. Then, 1 week before the opening, everything exploded. Nathan received a call from Marcus, his lawyer, early one morning. Maya watched his face change as he listened. When? Nathan asked sharply. How? Maya's heart began racing. What happened? Nathan ended the call and turned to her, his expression grim. Your uncle escaped during a prison transfer yesterday. They've been searching for him all night. The room started spinning. Escaped? How is that possible? There was an incident during the transfer, possibly staged. The guards are being investigated. But right now, Roberto is out there somewhere. Carlos, eating breakfast at the kitchen counter, looked up with fear in his eyes. Is Uncle Roberto coming for us? Nathan immediately went to him. No one is going to hurt you, Carlos. I promise. But even as he said it, Maya could see the concern in his eyes. Nathan immediately doubled their security. James and Lisa were joined by 4 more security professionals. The building's entrance was monitored around the clock. Nobody could enter the penthouse floor without explicit authorization. This is like living in a prison, Maya said after 3 days of the heightened security. It's temporary, Nathan assured her. The police are closing in. They'll find him. But on the 5th day, Roberto made his move. Maya was at the restaurant overseeing final touches when her phone rang. Carlos's school. Ms. Torres? This is Principal Davidson. We need you to come to the school immediately. There's been an incident involving Carlos. Maya's heart stopped. What kind of incident? Is he hurt? Please just come quickly. Nathan and their security team rushed to the school with Maya. When they arrived, they found police cars already there. Principal Davidson met them at the entrance, looking shaken. A man tried to take Carlos from the playground during recess. He claimed to be his uncle, said there was a family emergency. Where's Carlos? Maya demanded, panic rising. He's safe in my office. Our security stopped the man before he could leave the premises. The police have him in custody now. Relief flooded through Maya. Nathan squeezed her hand. Can we see him? Nathan asked. They were led to the principal's office where Carlos sat wrapped in a blanket, a counselor beside him. The moment he saw Maya, he ran into her arms. I told them Uncle Roberto was bad. Carlos cried. I remembered what you said. Never go with him. I screamed and ran away. You did exactly right, baby, Maya said, holding him tight. You were so brave. A detective approached them. Ms. Torres? I'm Detective Rodriguez. We have Roberto Torres in custody. He'll be charged with attempted kidnapping, escape, and violating a restraining order. With these new charges added to his previous crimes, he's looking at 15 to 20 years minimum. Maya felt her knees weaken with relief. Nathan supported her. Is it really over? She asked quietly. It's really over, Detective Rodriguez confirmed. He won't be getting out on bail this time. Maximum security facility until trial. That evening, back at the penthouse, the three of them sat together on the couch. Carlos had finally fallen asleep between them, exhausted from the trauma of the day. He's safe now, Nathan whispered. You're both safe. Maya looked at him with tears in her eyes. You saved us. Again. We saved each other, Nathan corrected. You saved me from a life of just making money without purpose. You gave me a family. Maya leaned her head on his shoulder. I can't believe this is real sometimes. That morning when you found me outside your building, if someone had told me my life would turn into this, I never would have believed them. Believe it, Nathan said softly. This is your life now. Our life. What about your Uncle Richard? Maya asked. He still doesn't approve of me. Nathan sighed. Richard will have to accept it or not. I've realized something these past weeks. I spent too many years trying to please him, trying to prove myself worthy of his investment. But I built this company. Me. And I get to decide who I share my life with. He might cut you off completely, Maya warned. Then he cuts me off, Nathan said simply. I'd rather have you and Carlos than his approval. Maya smiled, feeling warmth spread through her chest. The restaurant opens in 1 week. And 1 month after that, Nathan added, we're getting married. She looked up at him. You still want a quick wedding? I've never been more sure of anything, he replied. Unless you want to wait longer? No, Maya said quickly. I don't want to wait either. I've waited long enough for my life to begin. One month later, Maya stood in a beautiful white gown, simple but elegant, perfect for her. Carlos stood proudly beside her in a tiny suit, holding the rings on a small pillow. Nathan stood at the altar in a cream-colored suit, looking at her like she was the only person in the world. The venue was small and intimate, just close friends and a few of Nathan's most trusted business associates. Nathan had wanted to respect Maya's wishes for something private and meaningful rather than a large society wedding. The ceremony was held at a small chapel overlooking the ocean. Flowers decorated every surface. Maya's favorite, sunflowers, mixed with white roses. As Maya walked down the aisle, she thought about the journey that brought her here. Sleeping on cold concrete. Selling water bottles to survive. The fear and hunger. The loneliness. And then Nathan, finding her at her lowest point and seeing not a homeless girl, but a person worthy of love and respect. The pastor smiled warmly at them. We are gathered here today to witness the union of Nathan Reed and Maya Torres in marriage. Maya barely heard the traditional words. She was lost in Nathan's eyes, in the gentle smile on his face, in the promise of the future they were about to begin together. When it came time for vows, Nathan went first. Maya, he began, his voice steady but emotional. The morning I found you outside my building, I thought I was saving you. But the truth is, you saved me. You showed me what real strength looks like. What courage means. What truly matters in life. He paused, squeezing her hands. I promise to honor your strength, protect your heart, support your dreams, and love you and Carlos with everything I have. For the rest of my life. Tears streamed down Maya's face as she began her vows. Nathan, I came to Miami with nothing but a bag and hope. I was exhausted, scared, and ready to give up. Then you saw me, really saw me, when I felt invisible. Her voice cracked with emotion. You gave me back my dignity. You believed my story. You fought for me and Carlos. You showed me that good people still exist in this world. She smiled through her tears. I promise to stand beside you, to support your dreams as you've supported mine, to build a family with you, and to love you with all my heart. Always. The pastor beamed. By the power vested in me, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss your bride. Nathan gently cupped Maya's face and kissed her softly as their small gathering erupted in applause. Carlos jumped up and down excitedly. They're married. They're married. The reception was held at Maya's restaurant, the Torres Community Restaurant, which had opened to rave reviews 2 weeks earlier. The space was transformed with lights and flowers. Nathan's Uncle Richard had not attended. He'd sent a brief message saying he couldn't support the marriage. Nathan had read it, deleted it, and never mentioned it again. He'd meant what he said. He chose Maya and Carlos over anyone's approval. During dinner, Nathan stood to make a toast. A few months ago, I thought I had everything. Success, money, respect. But I was wrong. I had nothing that mattered. He looked at Maya. Then I met someone who had lost everything but possessed what truly matters. Courage, integrity, love, and hope. Maya didn't just change my life. She showed me what life could be. He raised his glass. To my wife, Maya. And to new beginnings. To new beginnings. Everyone echoed. Later, as they danced together, Maya whispered to Nathan, "Thank you for seeing me." "Thank you for letting me love you," he replied. Carlos ran up to them. "Can I dance too?" They pulled him into their embrace, the three of them swaying together to the music. "This is my family," Nathan said quietly. "This is everything." 6 months later, Maya's legal team successfully recovered all of her father's properties. The restaurant in Tampa was restored to her and Carlos. Maya decided to expand the Torres restaurant into a small chain, one in Tampa, one in Miami, and eventually more. She also started a foundation to help homeless young people find housing and job training. "I remember what it felt like," she told a reporter who interviewed her about the foundation. "I want to make sure others don't have to sleep on streets. Everyone deserves dignity. Everyone deserves a chance." Nathan watched the interview on his phone from his office and smiled. His assistant poked her head in. "Your 3 o'clock is here." "Tell them I'll be right there," Nathan said. "But first," he texted Maya, "proud of you. See you at home. Love you." She replied immediately, "Love you more. Don't forget, Carlos has a soccer game at 6. Nathan smiled. This was his life now. Business meetings and soccer games, board presentations and family dinners, corporate strategy and bedtime stories. He wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. Maya Torres had arrived in Miami with nothing but a bag and a prayer. She'd slept on cold concrete outside a building, exhausted and invisible. But she'd never been invisible. She'd just been waiting for someone to truly see her. And when Nathan Reed looked down that morning and saw a beautiful, strong woman who refused to give up, both of their lives changed forever. Because sometimes, the greatest love stories begin in the most unexpected places. Sometimes, they begin on a cold sidewalk at dawn, when a billionaire finds an angel sleeping outside his door and recognizes that he's been searching for her his entire life. The end. Thank you for watching this incredible journey of love, courage, and new beginnings. If this story touched your heart, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring stories like this one. Hit that notification bell so you never miss our uploads. Share this video with someone who needs to hear a message of hope today. Drop a comment below and tell us what you loved most about Maya and Nathan's story. We love hearing from you. See you in the next story.